Hey Disneyland travelers, why do you go to the park solo? Hey Disneyland travelers, this is Megan, the Disneyland solo traveler, and I wanted to talk to you today of why you should go on a solo trip. I'm going to be coming up with tips and trips of solo trips. In the first one, I just wanted to talk about why you should go solo. Like I said, I made a list, so if I'm looking to this side, I'm just looking at the list I made based on my ideas, things I did last time, and things I'm going to plan on doing next time, in addition to things I enjoyed the first time, as well as things that I've seen online, things I found online that I thought were really I get good ideas in case you wanted to do on your solo trip. So the biggest thing I would suggest to you if you're planning a solo trip is to plan to do what you want to do. That's the greatest advantage of going on your own, is you can do whatever you want in the park. There's a ton of things to choose from. So definitely maybe find some ideas from here and other sites we're going to talk about here in just a minute. But on my first trip, the thing that really drew me to going on my own was, one, I could do it. I didn't have to wait around for the next trip, somebody else to be ready. I had the money, I had the time, was able to take time away from work to go, and I wanted to go on rides. When I wanted to go on rides, eat where I wanted to eat, do things on my schedule, meet characters. Some of the things I loved about going the first time was using the single rider line and the fast passes. Definitely going to use that again, especially since I hate waiting in line. Really enjoyed waiting in the single rider line for Splash Mountain. Maybe rode it 3 or 4 times, maybe 6 times each day. Using the single rider line, there was one time where I went twice in a row because there was nobody else in the single rider line. It was really great using that. For the meals and snacks, got to eat where I wanted to go, knew what I liked. That fit my budget as well. Also, a thing that I did different that I hadn't done before was take my time to meet characters. I'd always been, and still pretty much am this way, of just really wanting to hit rides, because that's the real reason I really want to go to Disneyland, is for the rides. But took my time to meet some characters. Really enjoyed that. Would definitely take my time to meet your favorite character. There was someone else I watched on YouTube that went to Disneyland Paris by themselves. And their main thing was just basically taking the time to meet characters. They didn't do as many rides. They just mainly met characters. So that might be something you want to do if you're going to go on a solo trip. Definitely want to do those things this next time around. And since I'm planning a series of YouTube videos, I thought of things, or discovered things, or things that I had in mind that I want to do next time. Like, going on exploring the 60th anniversary things. They didn't have very many 60th things. Like, the only thing they'd had, I think, was the castle was decorated when I went in May. Didn't have the parades, fireworks, no food, no other 60th theme things. So I definitely want to explore that while I'm in the park, especially the parade and the fireworks. I love watching them online, and they always get me choked up, so I can't imagine what they'll be like in person, how amazing they'll be. There's a few rides that I want to go on that I didn't experience, or go on them at night. I've watched some YouTube videos of rides at night, and they look so great. Matterhorn was closed the last 2 times I've gone. I've never gone on the Matterhorn at night, and I've heard that's a really great ride to do at night. Whole different experience. Another thing I want to do is go to some of the restaurants. Since I'm having more time to plan to go to my next trip, I'm also having more time to save money and go to some of the pricier restaurants. That includes going on character breakfasts and going to the Blue Bayou and Carthaway Circle, possibly, if I can manage it. Those things kind of sound intimidating a little bit. I don't mind eating quick restaurants by myself. That's fine. It doesn't bother me. But it's kind of scary to go to those places on my own. But I really want to try it anyway, just for the atmosphere. I don't get to go to Disneyland very often, so I just really want to kind of splurge on those things, get to go. One of the things that I found while I was looking through apps, which I'm going to have a video coming up, hopefully pretty soon, are tours. I didn't really think about it or look into it recently. Watched the YouTube video where someone was talking about the tours, and they were talking about the things that they had seen and learned about the park. They had no idea about those things. So I definitely wanted to take advantage of that. I think it's in Walt's footsteps or something like that, where we explore Walt's original park. I absolutely love learning things about Walt Disney, the original park, vintage Disneyland. I love all that, so I just can't wait to go on that tour and explore that. Another reason to go on a solo trip is you can go when you want to go. Maybe you're not as confined of waiting for somebody else's schedule to be open the same time as yours is. And then I also would love to go at Christmas and Halloween, so maybe that's a time that you want to explore and go and see all the decorations and the seasonal food that they have at that time, and the shows and things like that. My next topic is shows, actually. So there's kind of two viewpoints you can take on this. Maybe you're somebody that really just wants to sit and soak up the shows just because that's something that you love to do for whatever reason. Definitely take the time to look into the shows they do have. I myself really want to see the parade and fireworks. Not so much me sitting down and seeing like the theatrical shows. I'm thinking about doing that. I'll be open to it, but it's not something I'm definitely going to plan on doing. Might see the Aladdin show, play it by ear, but the other side of that is that maybe you'll know when the shows are like World of Color or the fireworks, and you're okay with missing those. That would be a great time to go on ride. So you can plan either way, seeing it or avoiding it to get on shorter ride times. One of the ideas I found online was talk to the cast members, and there's been great stories of getting extra fast passes or getting to know the cast members or doing something special because the cast members will go out of the way to make your day magical and special. So definitely would recommend talking to them if you are not going personality. That's not something I would necessarily do. I'm pretty shy, if you don't know me at all, but I'm really shy, introverted, but have had really great interactions with cast members, talking to the characters. They're great cast members to talk to. Taking your time at the park. This was another idea that I came across and that I could relate it to my last solo trip because I took time to eat at the Jolly Holiday, sit outside and enjoy Main Street. Maybe you'll get a Dole Whip, sit somewhere, just enjoy watching the crowd and the park and just soaking up, maybe noticing something in that area you had never noticed before. Just taking your time. It doesn't have to be rush or anything like that. Taking pictures. Really wish I had taken more pictures on my last trip because when I went previously with my sister, she kind of was annoyed that I was taking pictures and she would just rather rush off and go on rides. So maybe you just do want to catch those amazing Disney details that they have at the park and just have those memories on film forever. But the last thing I want to leave you guys with is research. I have found so many ideas, like I said, just watching and looking for ideas for this site, for this YouTube channel. Would recommend looking up the website, the Disneyland website and apps. I am coming up with an apps episode if you're interested in seeing that, of apps that I like to use on my solo trip. And they can be obviously used for any trip you go on to the parks. But definitely check those out. And then the last thing I think has been super beneficial for me is looking up videos on YouTube. You can see what rides are like if you've never been or you don't go very often. And I think the best YouTube channel that I watch is Fresh Baked. They are a group that goes every week. And since they're there every week, they kind of get to do whatever they want. They're not rushed for time. They're not trying to hit as many rides as possible. They get to sit and take time to do the shows, fireworks, you name it, characters. I have found so many great ideas from them, like going to the Hungry Bear. I went there on my last trip. That was a place I ate twice at. I also want to go on Main Street Vehicle because that's something they do on a pretty regular basis. So I've gotten so many ideas from them. Definitely check them out. And then I want to ask you, what are some of the things that I haven't mentioned on this video? What are some of the things that you've done maybe on a solo trip or things that you would like to do that I haven't thought about? So leave that in the comments. I hope I see you next time. See you later, everyone.